Appreciate you.
Radio Raheem with Shawn Porter.
Thank you. You got it, man. Of course.
Showtime Sean P in the house, man. I just want to get straight to it. You guys share a common opponent in Keith Thurman.
Sorry.
That's all good.
Okay. I'm just right here. Okay. Yeah, good to see you.
Common opponent in Keith Thurman. Both of you guys believe you won the fight. So do the fans. A lot of pundits as well. I want to know how you feel about Danny's fight with Keith Thurman and how you saw it. Do you also believe he won? Are you on the different side of the fence in that?
You know what? I'm a very biased person when it comes to me watching fights, judging fights, the whole nine. I really did see the fight a lot more one-sided for Keith Thurman.
Okay.
I didn't agree with the score. I didn't even know until today that it was just one card on one judge that separated that decision. I really did. I thought that the fight was a little bit more lopsided, especially comparing my fight with Keith. And I saw a lot of holes in what Danny does. I saw a lot of holes.
Do you ever prepare for a specific fight? I know Danny said he doesn't. I imagine the training camp for Keith was like your toughest training camp, preparing, for somebody at that time, at the peak of his career.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
A little different, or?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I don't know too many fighters out there that don't prepare for a specific fighter or for a specific night. I would prepare differently if I was going to fight in England, because I know that there's going to be 30,000 people there. I'm going to have some music cranked up. I'm going to have, a whole bunch of loud noise cranked up in my gym. Like, that's just based on the atmosphere, So, that's just based on the atmosphere. You got to get ready for what you getting ready for, So, I'm surprised to hear him say he doesn't fight or train for a specific fighter. When I trained for Keith, I trained specifically for Keith. Thought about only Keith and imagined only Keith. What he would move, how he would move, and what he would do. And I think that makes you even more prepared for what the fighter has. So, the same thing with Danny Garcia. I'm gonna watch him in Brandon Rios' last fight. I'm gonna watch him in Keith Thurman. I'm gonna watch him in a few other fights just to see what he can handle, what he can do, what he likes to do, so on and so forth.
What kind of holes did you see, Sean? You said you saw holes.
Yeah, I spoke on it up there. I saw him doing a robot, and I've seen it. I've seen it twice now. That's his favorite move. That's his.
Which move are you referring to?
When he tries to step forward and punch, it's like
real
just
robotic,
real stiff. Yeah, it's real. It's stiff, and it's like the coordination is not there. And especially when you're in the ring with me, you need some coordination. So I saw the holes of him not being able to move and punch, not being able to cut off the ring against Keith Thurman, and a lot the same. I saw when Lamar Peterson moved around for about 6 rounds and then started coming at him. It was like he couldn't handle the movement, but then he couldn't handle Lamar coming after him. Now I understand what happens there. You finally 6 rounds, you finally adjust to what somebody's doing, and then they make another adjustment. That's boxing. You gotta be able to adjust. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Is there anything he does that you may have to concern yourself with?
Definitely. I think he's an excellent counter puncher. I think we're gonna keep him off balance. I'm not gonna tell you how, but I expect to keep him off balance and not allow him to get into any type of rhythm.
So if I'm Danny Garcia, I'm thinking, all right, the only time Shawn Porter was ever knocked down was from an Adrien Broner left hook. Left hook is my specialty. Like, what's your answer to Danny Garcia's left hook, or the no-look left hook that he's, made famous?
Hey, 12th round, got relaxed, got comfortable, and I shouldn't have did that. And I did not listen to my corner. My corner said go after Adrien Broner, and I decided to try to take the round off. I got put down, and it was like, whoa, what? Got up and I went right back after him. So that round could have easily been 9-9. But I think you talk about Danny Garcia having a great left hook. We said the same thing about myself and Keith Thurman, and I think I landed more hooks than Keith. So he can try to trade hooks if he wants to, or he can just rely on one punch. If you're looking for one punch all night, it's not gonna be there. It's not gonna be there.
You guys are both also. There was a video with Paulie Malignaggi saying, his best chins, and he gave that to you. Danny Garcia is also known for having one of the best chins in boxing overall, right there with guys like Triple G and stuff. How will the chin stand up? Will you guys, meet in the middle and really have that that classic, blow for blow match, or just see whose chin can hold up to whose?
No, no. I'm not expecting that.
Because that's what he wants. That's what he seems to be campaigning for.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what you can campaign for. But we call it being responsible on defense. So we know when we let our hands go, we know something's coming back. It's a part of boxing, A and B, and then it goes C, D, E, F, and the whole alphabet. So if I see you in the center of the ring, I'm gonna hit you. But damn sure this is boxing. I'm not trying to get hit. If by chance it does happen, it's happened to me before. I've been hit. You got to keep going. Got to weather those storms. Got to make it happen.
I feel like you've gotten the reputation of the brawler and the pressure fighter, but once upon a time you were kind of swift and more boxing and showing off your speed and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that it seems like you're alluding to that's going to be the version of you that gets in the ring that night, the one that's going to outbox Danny Garcia?
We will see. And it was probably a blessing to be in the ring with Adrien Broner, my last fight. Because I had the opportunity to move a little bit more and box a little bit more and. So I think if anything, you guys have seen me do it all, and it's just a matter of what's going to be the most tactical thing to do against Danny Garcia, and we'll take it one round at a time.
Shawn, do you feel like Danny's going to trade with you in the middle of the ring, or you feel like he's going to kind of avoid you and move around?
I feel like you talk about trading, but I don't think it's gonna be punch. I expect him to be more trying to counterpunch me. I expect it to be my two punches, and when my second one's coming back, he's trying to come back. I don't expect it to be us going back and forth like that. So I do expect to do some things to offset his counterpunching abilities, which I personally feel like is his best attribute, and leave it all in the ring.
Now you took Keith's best shot, and Danny says he's more powerful than you. Do you feel like he really has that power, or it's a psychological thing?
I think it's psychological. I think I'm sure he believes in his strength and his power, but you talk about me being in the ring with arguably the hardest hitter till 2017 when he stopped fighting, in Keith Thurman, and I took the best of the best from him. So at that point, it really does. You have to question, are you as strong as Keith Thurman, or are you just talking yourself up to believe that? But trust and believe. Number one objective is to be responsible on defense. But if I were to get caught with anything, you guys see me, I don't stop, and nothing's gonna stop me from getting this WBC title.
You've got a great resume, so there's a lot to compare and contrast. If speaking objectively, I know you're fighting him now, he's your opponent, but where would you rank him with the Kell Brooks and Keith Thurmans, at their peaks?
Even speaking objectively, it does not matter that he's my opponent right now. I would say, if we rate the top five, I would say he's near the back of that five, opposed to being closer to the front.
So is it Keith Thurman and Kell Brook above him?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so he's more in the Adrien Broner area for you, or?
He's above Adrien.
Okay, all right.
Did you put Adrien in the top five?
No, I mean, I imagine, yeah, definitely one of your top five opponents. No.
Oh my top five. I thought you meant just.
Oh no, not in general.
Oh,
no,
okay,
yeah.
Yeah. No. I would say, he's still, I would say Danny could be right there around. He's 2 or 3.
Okay.
He's 2 or 3.
Shawn, I just wanted to get your opinion on the Pacquiao fight a couple weeks ago.
Missed it.
Did you?
Yeah, heck yeah. When I was turning to ESPN, somebody's like, "No, you got to download the app." I swear to God, I looked at my phone. I was like, "I'm not doing that." And I haven't been able to watch it since. I heard all about it. Kept up on that part of it, but I haven't actually seen any of the highlights yet.
Gotcha.
But I do know he's back in the picture.
Right.
Yeah, he's back in the picture.
So on a little bit of a shift, how about Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence? The whole week, that's all we've been hearing about. How does your boxing mind break that fight up?
When I heard it, I was kind of like, wow, it all depends on the athlete at the end of the day. You do have guys who move up to another weight class and they want to test the waters. If you are me, and I'm assuming that Mikey Garcia is a lot like me, he really believes in himself and he's very confident in himself and his abilities. I move up, I'm looking to fight a champion. I'm looking to gain some recognition right away in that division. And I think maybe more than anything, that's what he's doing. He really believes in himself and his abilities, and that could be why he's said he wants to fight.
It reminds me of, I think there's some interviews back in the day where you said you potentially would fight Canelo. If at a higher weight.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the same thing. So
yeah,
you're
yeah,
one
exact
of those
same
champions.
thing. Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and those
exact
are
same
some
thing.
old interviews
Yeah,
back.
yeah. It's the exact same thing. You know what? We why would he move up and take a step down? You know.
But
So
last question about this. So, is it a lose-lose for Errol? Because if he doesn't look great, it's against the guy 12 pounds lighter. If he wins, it's against the guy 12 pounds lighter.
I don't think so. At the end of the day, something's got to give. At the end of the day, Mikey Garcia is a champion, has been a champion for a number of years now. At the end of the day, him moving up means that he wants to fight the best. It's not Errol's fault if he's not ready for Errol. Errol has to get ready and do what he has to do. And and the rest can be talked about afterwards.
Where does Terence Crawford fit into all of this welterweight mix-up? Is he really across the street like Errol has put in? They're not in the same. He's obviously, there's the politics in boxing, but will he never fight a champion from this side?
We don't know. Is
that something that you want?
We don't
possibly
know.
Down the line?
I've said this publicly before. I've never seen myself fighting Terence Crawford. The fact that he's moving up to 147 pounds now, just that alone is like, wow, like you hear, big dog, But he's a true competitor, and that's what I love most about him. I actually enjoy watching Terence fight because it's fun to watch him. It's fun to see his competitive spirit come out. So if he moved up to 47 now, he deserves to be in the ring with the best of us.
I think the fans have kind of dubbed either him or Errol like the king of the weight class. If you win a belt, you equally have a claim to that throne.
Yeah.
How do you separate yourself from them and make the fans know, okay, I'm here just as well?
It's all about the performance, I got to look better than Keith Thurman did against Danny Garcia. His only loss is to Keith Thurman. I have to look 10 times better than Keith. I look 10 times better than Keith. I win this title, and now you're really questioning, can these guys beat Shawn Porter? So that's it. It's all about the performance.
Shawn, I know you've been kind of frustrated with
What's
the
up, Shawn?
process of finally, getting a big fight. Have you been keeping up with the World Boxing Super Series at all? And
that's at 135 pounds, right?
Yeah, but the concept, the tournament concept, where
the
best fight the best in over a year. You wish maybe that kind of thing had existed for you guys, like a proper tournament where you really do fight the best.
You fought one of the guys. You fought Usyk, didn't you? Your father said you fought him.
Who?
Your father said you fought Usyk, who just won the cruiserweight.
Okay, yeah. I fought him way back in the day.
And you beat him, correct?
Yeah. We were like 17, I think. Yeah, and we fought. And it was
you beat the undisputed cruiserweight champion.
We were 165 pounds then, but
Danny Jacobs
I saw him in the 2016 games, I think, at heavyweight. And I was like, wow. It was either 12 games or the 16 games at heavyweight, and I was like, wow. But it's that part of professional boxing, I think, will always be you're treading on thin ice, because in the amateur program you can fight every night and still manage to take care of your body and things of that nature. Up here we do 12 rounds, no headgear, smaller gloves. You risk cuts, you risk breaks, bruises, the whole nine. So a tournament in the amateur program is just a week, turns into an entire year in the professional ranks, because it takes that much time for your body to heal and for you to get ready for the next fight and so on and so forth. So there was a time where I actually thought that it would be a good idea for me to be involved in a tournament, but I understand the business of boxing too well, and I understand the health of boxing too well to know that if you try to fight in a tournament, it may not go the way you expect it to go, and what happens after that.
But don't you think it's like pretty gratifying at the end of it all? If it goes, and they've shown it.
You got to get to the end. That's the thing.
They did it.
Yeah,
right?
you got to get to the end. So definitely, it's very gratifying. I remember when Andre Ward did it, and how proud I was to see him do what he did. And he made it through the whole thing healthy, waiting on other guys to schedule fights and so on and so forth. And, that really catapulted his career to the next level. Before that, he was kind of always, everyone was questioning what he had. After that, he knew exactly what he had, So, yeah, there's definitely benefits in a professional tournament.
Yeah, I'm wondering in your case, because, Keith Thurman, that's the fight you won. You won the WBC strap.
Yeah.
He hasn't really communicated at all. There's a point where you kind of, you didn't know what the discussion was.
Yeah.
Tournament, you kind of have an idea, like,
I watch football religiously. I know it's 38 days until kickoff. You know what I mean? And that's my favorite part about football. You know who's next. You know who's coming the week after that. With boxing, it's bittersweet because you never know who you're gonna get after this. So I've been told it's gonna be Errol Spence, but at this point I don't even know. So my number one objective is to win that title.
How do you feel about Errol after the Mikey fight? He kind of took it with a grain of salt when they told him that you had eyes on him next, etc. He said, that before in the past you guys have always been scared to mention him, quote unquote, etc. How do you feel about his response to?
I just remember being there. I remember being that guy before I even had the IBF title, saying guys that I wanted to fight, and no one ever mentioning me or wanting to fight me, because I was that young dog, So he is in that position now, or was in that position just before he grabbed his IBF title. He was the guy saying, I want to fight you, then I want to fight you, then I want to fight you. Well, now you got the title, and now you waiting on everybody else to come after you, So, I heard it 2 nights ago on Saturday that, he was promised the winner of myself and Danny Garcia. To me, that's a beautiful thing because now I know who I'm fighting next, So that's the best part about it is, there's no waiting game. And yet still in the welterweight division, it's so hot right now that, you're always waiting for something that's going to be greater than what you just did.
So they're saying Errol.
I heard that. I heard that from one of you, not you guys, but one of the guys. I was told that was something that he said.
So you're not so much set on Keith. I mean, there was a time where you're saying, I want Keith, I want that belt.
I'm not set on Keith. I'm not set on Keith for the express purpose that, a lot like the question you asked with Mikey Garcia fighting Errol Spence. If Errol Spence wins, is it like a double-edged sword? Does he get, praised for beating Mikey, or is Mikey too little, and so on and so forth? It's the same with Keith Thurman fighting me. Keith has not fought since 2017. And, for him to have his first fight back against me after a long layoff, after 2 injuries now, so on and so forth. It's like we expected you to win, Shawn. He's been gone, So I'm not sold on that right now. I think that, he deserves to have a fight back. I think we deserve to see him have a fight back so that we know he's who we expect him to be.
What do you think about the fight next week between Dre and Devin?
That's this week, right?
Yeah, this week. I'm sorry.
I think, I think that one's gonna be edged out by Alexander. I think Devin is, I think Devin's a little bit more fresher at this point in his career than Andre Berto. I think Andre Berto's been in some wars. I think that has taken its toll, and I think that if he's not catching you in the first couple rounds, it's only a matter of time before he starts to go downhill.
Do you see Keith coming back and fighting the winner of that?
I think that would be good for him. I think that would be good for him. I think those guys are good boxers. I think that those guys obviously have a resume to fight Keith Thurman, and I think that those guys. I'm not saying that those guys aren't dangerous fights for him, but I think that they don't have the power that I have, that Errol Spence has. They don't have the ferocious spirit that we've never seen those guys have that. And I think. Keep coming back. He needs to fight somebody that's not gonna come in there, from the jump and try to take his head off like I would. And he needs somebody that he can get in the ring with and be able to think and feel good again.
You don't mind me bouncing a question off of what Andy asked you. What do you say to people that speculate that you don't have the same energy, and this is just a hard question, you don't have the same energy calling out Spence versus like some of these other guys. You've flown to Danny Garcia's fights, and you've always been open about over the years calling these guys out. Why not call out Spence the way
The answer to that is, to me, is very simple, and if you don't appreciate it, then you don't appreciate it. When I was going for my IBF title, and this guy moved up to welterweight, he was the guy. You know, that was 3 years ago, almost 4. At that point, Errol Spence was, you know, just coming into the fight game, the professional fight game. So at this point, I'm still trying to take care of the business that I've set forth for myself, and up to 3 or 4 years ago, it was not Errol Spence. So simple as that. But like I said before, we get the WBC, sky's the limit. No problem.
There's also a chance here. I mean, we're talking about Spence saying he wants the winner of you and Danny, but there's also, you know, a chance that, because it's slated for December supposedly, Spence and Mikey. If Mikey wins that fight, then that could be you and Mikey.
Yeah, whoa. Honestly, I mean,
so it could be Mikey fighting.
Yeah,
to
he wins that fight. Whoa. I think he would have.
That's something
done
you've ever imagined in your mind, you and Mikey?
Heck no.
Okay.
Heck no. No, I never imagined that. You know.
That's something you got to start imagining.
No, not until he beats Errol. I really do. I think that he's biting off a lot to chew, and getting in the ring with Errol Spence. I think he wins that fight. He does something that is just marvelous and spectacular and special. I think he wins that fight, and I have to really pay attention to what he did and get ready for him.
So you don't think if he gives a competitive going that he sticks around 147?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Especially if he's competitive, if the fight's close, if the fight is entertaining and as, you know, great as we expect it to be, you know, there's no telling what he would do, you know.
Shawn, do you think you'll fight again before the end of the year?
I handled this guy in 1 round. We'll look to do that.
Shawn, I always see you ringside at the Barclays fights. A fight that I think in the last day or 2 was being talked about is Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
Oh, really?
I tried to, you know, confirm it today, but I got this motion. So, you know, if that fight does happen, what are your thoughts on that as a boxing fan?
Yeah, we saw a lot from Deontay Wilder in his last fight with Ortiz. We saw him give it, and we saw him take it for the first time. And then, yeah, man, good to see you. And